KZN police have been labelled trigger-happy following several shootouts between them and suspected criminals. While some analysts and policing experts are questioning the actions of the police, other communities and CPF believe the actions of the police are praiseworthy, saying that criminals should not be treated with kid gloves. The official figure has not been released yet, but in July alone, at least 20 people were killed in gun battles with police. Community Policing Forum Provincial Secretary in KwaZulu-Natal is Siyanda Biyela, who joins us now. Siyanda, a very good morning to you. Thanks very much for your time. What is, your organization's attitude towards this issue?
Good morning, Vuyo. Good morning to the listeners at home, the viewers that are listening to the show. We are proud to be on the show today. Vuyo, our interest and our stand will always be the protection of our communities, because our bare interest and mandate as the CPFs is to protect our communities and ensure that the service from the South African Police Services to the greatest excellence. Now, we can't then in turn go back and say our police, when they're actioning and working on the ground, we are then questioning their ability to strike and their ability to protect us. Our cloud and call has always been clear. We are clear that if the police are attempting to stop you, are attempting to search within the right that they have by the constitutional bearing, to come and ensure that coming from suspicions that arose, they're coming to your house. If you are innocent, we have a belief that you won't have a problem surrendering your power, surrendering your house, surrendering your car, for them to search and really strike you out of any other suspicions. But the minute you start firing against the police, then it means you are starting war, or you are starting a battle, I've said, because war is a far-fetched word. So such battles, unfortunately, or by fortune, is that our police officers are the ones who are less victimized. So the criminals, which we believe, obviously our belief is clear. Everyone has a right to come before the law, the court of law, be given a fair trial, be given a fair judgment. But if then you are not serving yourselves to such predicaments for you to be handed over, to be arrested, taken to court, the whole justice system is clear in all of South African people. Everyone has gone to jail, they've come back innocent, they've come back cleared their name. So why you? Why do you have to use your guns? Why do you have used any equipment that you have to fight against the police? Because we must respect the police. We must give them the statue that they deserve as our protectors in the communities.
Do you believe that criminals have perhaps become a lot more daring, a lot more brazen these days?
What is the reality, Vuyo, is that as our call as the CPF to the police ministry to say, let's resource the SAPS to the best maximum that we have. You'll recall in the July unrest, how our police officers were not able to really manage and deal with managing the situation. It went so rapid, the ripple effect, we know what happened after that. So we call on the resourcing of the South African Police Services, because we find that in the streets, there's guns and a number of wielding guns in the streets, in all corners of the streets. A young man, a young boy, a small 15, 16-year-old boy is having a gun. You do not know where the gun came from. So it can be a gun of a father, of an uncle, of a grandfather who died, and that gun was never surrendered. It can be a gun that was stolen in any other instance, but there are guns in our streets. Then we need to sweep those guns as we are assessing the SAPS, because we have a problem in our communities where there are security companies who are heavily armed, more than the South African Police Services. So we find that they are in the current back foot. Based on that, then people start to intend to undermine them, underestimate their authority and power. That is why then, when they are faced with such a blow, then they get surprised, because the South African Police Service must enforce the law. They must ensure the safe inhabitants of our South African citizens.
Well, the reason I was asking that question as to whether you think a lot of criminals have become more brazen. So also, when you see, some of the heists and robberies captured on social media, it's the stuff we only thought existed in movies and based on fiction.
Definitely, but there's a lot of factors, Vuyo, and the viewers at home, with regards to the issue of this. Firstly, we must also acknowledge that the issue of the high employment rates in South Africa is one of the triggering factors. But yet again, it does not have to be an excuse for people who then go out there and have your cash in transitized, for people who go out there and rob stores and rob our aunties, our mothers, whoever is vulnerable. But we are saying in part to that, we must also identify that there are people out there who are skilled. For instance, we have former military policemen and women. We have a former SAPS men and women who are dismissed into the service, who understand how the service operates. How are we then monitoring such colleagues or such people in the community so that they do not resort to such cash in transits? Because it shows you this thing is well planned, it's a well-oiled plan, which tells you that these people are skilled enough to execute such work. So a person like myself who's never been in a service, who's never understood the processes of a service, cannot just wake up in the morning and just have that brazen attitude to go and stop a car, a G4S car or any other service provider who transports money across the province. But it's an issue of saying we have skilled people in our communities that we must be able to track, we must be able to keep tabs on them. Because some of them, as I've said, they are skilled people without work, which are IT specialists and whatever the case may be, your economists, but you also have your bankers, former bankers who've been released in their work, retrenched in some instances, some being fired. So we need to start and find a way to zoom into those skilled people and ensure that we keep them on tails, because most of these things are coming from the fact that there are skilled people in our communities which we are unable to keep tabs on, we are unable to assist in terms of moving their lives forward.